Really pleased to get that win. I think Penn State gives you defensive challenges that are tough for our team as we try to find out who we really are at different situations. The first half was not a great first half. We had 8 turnovers. We took some questionable shots, and with their length, it bothered us. They really are good. They got a couple of really good individual defenders. You know, Jordan Poole's become a little bit of a marked man. And that way he drew Josh Reeves, which is he's going to see that stuff more and more. He's going to see a great defender. So really pleased to get the W. We scored 24 points because we had 8 turnovers. We had 3 assists, and that was their pressure and their length. I think what stood out to me, I personally, as we practiced the last 2 days, not knowing how much zone or whatever they place it, yeah, we haven't seen man in 2 days or 2 games. We haven't seen man in 3 weeks. Right, we haven't seen it, and we've been off, or we've been getting ready for 2 zone teams, and as a result, it's just really hard to go back. And I use the baseball analogy, or I'll use a football analogy. It's like you played against a wishbone team, you played against a wishbone team, and you played against a wishbone team, and it's 3 weeks later. Okay, now we're going to go to our spread offense again. The timing's bad, and once we got through that, we scored 43 seconds or 43 points in the second half, and that was more who we got to be.
Chris, you want to start us off?
Talk about Isaiah Liver's absence.
Yeah, so it was, he practiced the last 2 days. He asked out of an extra session on Tuesday because his back was a little sore. We worked on it. He practiced fine yesterday, but he woke up really sore today. He did 3 sessions. It's back spasms. We'll get an MRI tomorrow and see where he is. But it was a game time. He really tightened up as the day went on. But he was in therapy like for 3 hours. Yesterday, and I probably would have mentioned it anyhow, but it wasn't even a concern to me at our press conference.
You want to talk about your defense and how it kept you in it?
Yeah, I mean, when you do that, allowing that team 20 points, they're averaging 68. You know, that's quite a bit below their average, and they got a lot of weapons, and so. That first half was really good, but both teams sort of felt each other out a little bit. With the length you see, both teams were more comfortable offensively. But the defense going to win games for us. It is so far because we've had some not terrific offensive nights, and I don't think today was a terrific one. But we've been able to win because of the defense.
In the back left.
Coach, you've talked about how dangerous it is coming into Big Ten play for this team. The slow start tonight, did you maybe learn a lesson about this team tonight?
Well, yeah, I think it was just a slow first half. I wouldn't say it's like a start. I think both teams are feeling each other out, and we're not. And I know there's some great teams in the country that are blowing people out of the water. We've been able to do that on a couple occasions, but that generally isn't who we are. We're going to have to win. You don't blow teams out of the water with defense, right? It's a gradual process while you feel out an offense, and then you're up by 2, then you're up by 6, then you're up by 8, then you're up by 16. So that's who we are. We're not going to be one of these teams that everybody's disappointed if we're not up at half. We just got to grind our way through. Yes, sir, Casey.
Hey, John. Just with Mike Watkins, Josh Reeves, and what overall impressed you about tonight's Penn State team?
Well, they got enough guys back from last year's team, just like that. They got three or four guys that played minutes last year back from a team that won the NIT without Mike Watkins. And you can see Watkins, that's the best that he's played. And he scored pretty well on Teskey. And so it is but Stevens is an elite player, right? Their young guys are really good, but they're young. Bolton's got a chance to be a tremendous player. And so they're really good players, and we had some really good players matched up with them. Iggy, the freshman on Stevens, and Charles on Stevens, he touched the ball 44 times today. He took 18 shots, right? He scored 17 points. That's a pretty good job by a freshman. He shot 45%. Really pleased with Iggy's growth right now defensively.
On your right with Noah.
John Jordan said, I guess he denied the ball a little bit further on the perimeter today, so that hadn't happened since high school. What did you see from their defense, and how much?
I saw one of those high school games. After he committed to us, he didn't score in the game. That really didn't make me go back and say, wow. But he's had those games where that's what happens in high school. People just shut you out. And so with Reeves on him, that's the challenge he's going to see right now. You know, his success is gonna merit that. And if he really wants to be a player, it's not gonna go away. So whether it was Hardaway, whether it was LeVert, anybody that up in that off-guard spot, right, we're gonna see their best defender that played on the perimeter. So he adjusted. I was really proud when he got 8. That I'm not sure how much we dialed him up. I think we put him in position, put the ball in his hands for him to get those 2 huge buckets, a runner and an in-between shot, right, that we needed to get, to go back up 12 and get some breathing room.
Right over here on your left with Aria.
John, Iggy kind of had a slow start tonight, but he ended up finishing with a double-double.
Mhm.
So what did you see from him tonight?
Well, he was going to have to play 38 minutes when we got the news before the game that when Isaiah told the trainers he couldn't go. So he's going to have to do that. I saw a kid that continues to make big shots when we need to in the second half. And he's not having slow starts. He's letting the game come to him early. He's feeling things out. I think he's got the 3rd most shots on our team. He is really understanding you can do more by doing less sometimes, right? So you can't always read into those numbers. He was expending a lot of energy on Stevens, guarding him, who's one of the premier power forwards in the league, right? He was making extra plays. He was running our offense. I thought he had a terrific 40 minutes, 39 and a half minutes, or 39 minutes.
Stay right there with Jacob.
Yeah, John, what did Austin Davis give you, especially on those first?
In the first half, he was really good. John gets the quick foul, and of course, we don't want him to be out for the rest of the half, so generally we take a guy out and put him back in at 12, something like that, because it's a rest period anyhow, and Austin really did a good job. In the second half, I thought he had a big block, too, so he's getting there. I said, Brandon continues to grow everybody, but Austin Davis, we got to keep challenging him because he's got another gear to him, and he's trying to use it when he can, but that was big for him to come in and just give us a defensive presence against our big guys.